On this Tuesday edition of Morning Drive, the new #1 in the women's game, So-Yeon Ryu, and Sunday's winner on the PGA Tour, Jordan Spieth, share the same coach. It's Cameron McCormick who will join us live to talk about his star players and his teaching methods. Phil Mickelson stopped by the KPMG Women's PGA Championship on Monday to sign a few autographs and sit down with our Tim Rosa for it. The duo discussing subjects making news in the golf world.
We haven't talked in a while. Golf world shaken, obviously, by the recent news of Tiger Woods. What's your reaction to all he's been through in the last month?
You will hear Phil's answer. Plus, we are live at Olympia Fields, home of the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Michelle Wie is trending, the latest on the American star as she chases another major title. You are on the tee with Morning Drive. Hi there, good morning to you. Welcome to this Tuesday, June 27th edition of Morning Drive. In Studio AP, Todd Lewis, proud to be sitting beside a former LPGA Tour member, Paige McKenzie, who has played in major championships in the KPMG Women's PGA Championship happening just outside of Chicago at Olympia Fields. And it is Tuesday, just 2 days to the opening round. What is this day, I should say, like for these ladies as they prepare?
Well, the biggest thing, especially at KPMG, is that it's changing golf courses. So a lot of the women are seeing this golf course for the very first time during their practice round. So a lot of the preparation today is getting used to the firmness of the greens, the rough around the greens, and getting a general layout of the golf course, picking their sight lines off the tees. So a big learning day. This is the big day where you should be studying up on the golf course you're playing.
And also trying to maintain some energy, trying to make sure you're ready to go on Thursday as you get ready for this major championship, the second major on the women's side for 2017. Happening now, Brooke Henderson, she is the defending champion. Take you back to Sahali from last year where she defeated another teenager in Lydia Ko in a playoff. And Brooke Henderson is defending this week at Olympia Fields. And we'll take a look at her tee time for Thursday. And she'll be lining up alongside Allison Lee and Ariya Jutanugarn, who of course was Player of the Year on the LPGA Tour last year. We're going to be going live to Olympia Fields all morning long, and that's where we'll go right now, as a matter of fact. And we say good morning to Chantel McCabe and Nicole Castrali, who are on the grounds. Hi, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning, Todd. And you know what? Nicole is not just an LPGA Tour winner or an insider for the ladies. But I have to say, yesterday when some of the women were out on the range, everybody was so excited to see you. So clearly it's going to be a good week here, and you know these people very well. So let's get into that. And Brooke Henderson, the defending champion, she won 2 weeks ago. Her game's in good shape, but you got the opportunity to talk to her about a month ago at Media Day. What did she say about defending here at KPMG?
Brooke is so special. She always looks so calm, cool, and collected to me, and she always says actually how nervous she really is. And when she came back for Media Day, she said it was the neatest feeling to be actually a defending champion of a major championship. And this shot, she said she had so much adrenaline, it should have actually been a 6-iron. She took a 7-iron. And remember, Lydia had hit it to 20 feet, and so she looked to her sister Brittany and said, "Right at it?" She said, "Right at it." And she said that 3-footer that she ended up making right here was the longest 3-footer that she could have ever imagined. And what I love about Brooke is she's just really that gritty, old school player. She really isn't mechanical at all. She plays by feel, and she hasn't changed anything from when she first got on tour. Her sister Brittany is still her caddy. Her dad is her coach, and she just goes out there and she plays by feel. She's aggressive. She leads the LPGA in birdies, and this golf course is going to set up very well for her. And as Paige had said, a lot of players are coming out here seeing the golf course for the first time. Brooke already has a few practice rounds under her belt, so that is definitely going to help her going into this week.
Only 19 years old. It's remarkable what Brooke Henderson has accomplished so far. But another major champion, Michelle Wie. We think of her as a young player, but she's been around for a little while, and this season she definitely has been putting her best foot forward with 3 top 10 finishes. Last week tied for 4th in Arkansas. What have you been hearing from her? I know you got the chance to talk with her last night.
I did talk to her after she played a late 9 holes. She has her golf coach David Ledbetter here, and I just said, really, what has led to this good play recently, and she said, my body is finally healthy, which will be interesting. Usually we see her with kinesio tape all over her, and she's swinging at it well. She said their main focus has really been her short game and her putting. I asked her how much, Michelle, is Solheim in the back of your mind, and she kind of giggled and she goes, oh, Nicole, it's not in the back of the mind, it is front and center.
Honesty.
And so she's also always been very honest. She said that this golf course is so special. She had heard a lot about it, but she said it really doesn't do its justice. It is pure. And I asked her, what about Solheim? As I said, and she said Julie Inkster is that captain that everybody wants to play for. She said it's very motivating. She's never missed a Solheim Cup, and she definitely doesn't want to leave it to Julie to be a pick. So I followed up with Julie and asked her about Michelle being on the team potentially and her play recently, and Julie said, I am one happy camper, one happy captain, and Michelle brings a lot of passion to Team USA. She does anything that she would ask of her, and she's looking to hopefully have Michelle on her team.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing who exactly makes that team, and I'm sure that this week will have a lot to do with it. But we are going to be live from Olympia Fields Country Club all morning long. That's just a taste of what's happening this morning, and we'll be back in a little bit to talk much more about the second women's major of this season. Todd?
Ladies, thank you very much. We look forward to it and want to take you back to Billy Hurley, who is the defending Quicken Loans national champion. Quite an emotional victory for Billy Hurley last year if you consider all that he went through. His father unfortunately committed suicide the year before, and Billy Hurley comes back to the D.C. area and gets the victory. It was an emotional time for him. How did he do it? Well, let's show you. Let's take you back to the final round. Here's Hurley, even on the day, 15 under for the tournament. Here he is on the par 4 15th after a poor tee shot.
And a smart play here at this point. It's a very tucked pin, puts himself in good position just shy of the green.
So he's got this chip. He's trying to get up and down and save par, and you know what? He does one better.
Yes, this is a beautiful angle into the hole. And he does what I call square to square. I'm going to break down this pitch shot in just a second, and that's why.
Yeah. Knocks it in. Watch the emotional reaction there. Talked to Billy after he knocked that chip in. He said he let a lot of that out, and he felt like it was so good to celebrate again. And then on the 16th, this long birdie putt.
I think he had a crowd. He was a crowd favorite as well, and this just an exclamation point on that back nine.
And so he would finish with a 2 under round, 17 overall, makes this short one to win by 3 over Vijay Singh. And again, to come back to the same tournament where his father went missing, if you recall, and a few weeks later was found dead after committing suicide. I mean, this is a tremendous story, an emotional victory for he and his family. Here's what he had to say after.
It's cliche, but dream come true. You know, I mean, this is the stuff. I remember being in plebe summer at the Naval Academy, telling one of my teammates I was going to play on the PGA Tour, and he kind of chuckled at me. And now to have won on the PGA Tour, unbelievable. I hit an okay tee shot on 15 and kind of got it up in the lip of the bunker, so I just kind of had to play out. Knew I couldn't even get it to the front of the green. And then I hit a really good pitch. I knew it was good when I hit it. I didn't know it was that good though. You know, the crowd started getting really excited as it got towards the hole, and I thought it was just kind of one of those, you know, well, the crowd gets excited and it goes to 6 feet past the hole or whatever, and then it disappeared. It totally shocked me for that one to go in, and that was definitely the turning point in the back nine.
All right, you go back to 2016, there were a lot of great stories around the world of golf. Dustin Johnson winning the U.S. Open, Phil Mickelson and Henrik Stenson slugging it out at the Open, with Stenson ultimately winning. But if you consider everything that was surrounding Billy Hurley as he won the Quicken Loans National, in my opinion, it's right up there with one of the great stories of 2016. It
really was, and it was an emotional story for anybody that follows this game, that knows the story behind Billy Hurley and his father. And in addition to that, I would encourage our viewers to check out Players Tribune. Earlier this year, Billy Hurley wrote a letter to his father that was posted on that website, and it really helped get a better picture of who his father was, his impact on his game, and also I think the journey that Billy Hurley went through. You heard him mention the Naval Academy, leaving the game of golf, serving his country, and coming back, and just the amount of time and effort and doubt that goes into any player's mind before they get their first win, I think was extra special for a player like Billy Hurley.
You mentioned that letter he wrote to his father. He also said that he forgave his father for committing suicide. And he told me that at the Naval Academy, he had a sign in his dorm room that said, "What have you done today to become a PGA Tour player?" I bet he worked on his chipping a lot, and it paid off. Show us again how he was able to get that chip in and helped him propel to victory.
Yes, and I mentioned the square to square as it relates to this pitch shot. And I think a lot of people, when they step up to a pitch shot like this, especially when it doesn't appear that you have that much room to work with if you're going straight at the pin, they think open to open. And by that I mean open stance, open club face, and then an open swing that kind of cuts across your body. He has a square stance and he uses a square swing. So let's go ahead and roll this, and I'll show you what I mean by that. I mean that the club face stays square to the path through the golf swing. So you can see right here, the toe isn't open, it's square. And then go ahead and roll it on the way through. And what he's able to do is keep it a little bit lower. He gets the release, and it still has a little bit of spin because he's able to pinch it pretty good. And of course, I love watching that result. Lauren, let's find out what else is going on, happening now around the world of golf.
Thank you, Paige. Well, yesterday, if you remember and you were tuning in, we had Phil Mickelson on Morning Drive, and following his appearance with us, he continued to make the rounds at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. How about a skills challenge between Lefty and some of the top players in the field? I'm talking about Lydia Ko, Stacey Lewis, and the defending champ in Brooke Henderson. Now, part of this even included breaking panes of glass with players' faces on them. It was all in good fun at Olympia Fields, where the 5-time major champ competed at the 2003 U.S. Open. So we want to keep that conversation going on Phil Mickelson. Let's get you out on site to Chantel McCabe with our Golf Channel Insider. Good morning again.
Good morning, LT. Well, you know what? You know it's a Tuesday when you get to talk Rosie's Notes with the Golf Channel Insider, Tim Rosafort. Happy to have you on site here for the second major of the season. And yesterday, as LT mentioned, the skills challenge, some of the best players in the world, Lydia Ko, Brooke Henderson. You saw the big signs with their heads on it, but there was another player who stopped by and you got the chance to catch up with him.
Phil Mickelson, he always fills up the notebook, Chantel. We had a chance to catch up with him and drill down on a number of subjects, starting with the U.S. Open.
I watched as much as I could. I really enjoyed watching the tournament. I thought it was exciting. I thought it was great theater and inspiring and impressive the way Brooks Koepka took control of that tournament, that back nine. It was fun to watch.
Was it hard to watch, though?
Oh, sure it was. I would have loved to have been there competing, but gosh, 16 under on that golf course. I know that it was low scores for a U.S. Open, but that 16 under on that golf course is just exceptional play. And but I would have loved to have been competing, but there's no place I would have rather been than where I was. It was as a dad, as a father, I don't know if I've ever been more proud than watching Amanda speak, knowing that she's graduated from high school, she's off to college. I know that that's kind of the people expect that, but it's still one of those moments in life as a family that you cherish. And then for her to be speaking was really cool. What will you always remember about that speech or that day? Well, she is. I'm obviously very proud dad. She's a very, very dynamic person and somebody I really respect and look up to. She has a very depth to her that is impressive, and her speech exemplified that. So when to see her talk with such passion about social justice, about acceptance for everybody, about pursuing your dreams, it's inspiring, and I was really glad I was there. You're with Bones a quarter century. Yeah. Why do you make this type of move with 2 tournaments left in the major championship season? Well, it was just the right time, in that we were hopeful that the U.S. Open would be our last event, because it's where we started 25 years ago to the tournament in 1992 at Pebble Beach. That was our first event, but we really started in the qualifying for that tournament in Memphis, so it really was 25 years to the day. And that final round in Memphis was emotional for us. I think I wanted it almost too much that final day, but it was just time for us to do something else. You know, he's going to have some great opportunities. Some really top players are going to be after him, and as they should be. He's got a lot to offer, and I think he's going to create another great team with another player. And it gives me an opportunity to spend time with somebody that I've really missed these last 5.5 years. My brother is somebody that I love and respect and look up to, and I've missed him this last 5.5 years when he's been the coach in Arizona State. Now that he's been managing John Rahm, we've spent a lot more time together, but I'm really looking forward to spending the rest of the year with him on the bag and sharing those moments.
What will you miss the most, though, about Bones not being there for you?
Well, I think that what will happen is I will reminisce. I'll miss and look back on and reminisce on our 25 great years, because we've experienced so many highs and so many lows on and off the golf course. From one of the lowest points in my life was when Amy started her cancer treatment, and who's the first person that shows up at the hospital? Bones and Jen. And so to share life's toughest moments, and then to share the British Open win or the Masters win of 2004, some of our highs in our career, and to share the birth of our kids together and go through those 25 years together is something that I'll always cherish. I'm very lucky to have had Bones to share those moments.
Assuming Tim's just a substitute, because as you said, he is managing John Rahm, what are you looking for now in a caddy?
Well, we're going to see how it goes the rest of this year, and I'm not going to really look past that. I'm excited to spend time with Tim. I'm excited. You know, he and I have played a lot of golf together, and he knows the way I like to play and how to bring out my best golf. And so
does he get more than one veto?
He'll get a veto, but I doubt he'll use it. You know, what's difficult for me is that I will see shots and be able to hit shots that most people can't. And to try to articulate that or explain what I'm seeing, it's just tough. So rather than do that, sometimes it's best if I don't articulate it and I just go hit the shot.
Chantel, this is one of those cases where it's interesting not only where Phil Mickelson ends up, but where Bones Mackay ends up, not only with a player, but potentially in the television market, doing TV as an analyst, as he did before for Golf Channel.
Well, that's not the only thing you got to talk with him about. There's more, isn't there? There
is. I had a chance to talk to Phil about Tiger Woods and his situation right now, how he felt about it. Did he reach out to him? We're going to have more on that later in the show.
Looking forward to it. You got all the notes today, Rosie, huh?
We tried. Phil can fill up a notebook, like I said, and
I believe it.
And he spent a bunch of time with us yesterday. We're going to have more in a couple of weeks talking about the Open Championship as well.
Wow, you've been a busy man. Well, looking forward to hearing more about the Tiger Woods conversation you had with Phil. For now, we'll send it back to Todd.
Thank you to both of you. Lauren Thompson taking over for Todd for the time being. Stick around on Morning Drive. We're going to have part 2 of that coming up. But coming up later, also a preview of some instruction Phil Mickelson himself will be giving you later this evening on Golf Channel. The World Golf Hall of Famer is about to join Martin Hall and Blair O'Neill from School of Golf, where the magical short game shots that helped him earn the name Phil the Thrill are going to be broken down by the 5-time major champion. Then we turn our attention to Power by the passionate player in Patrick Reed. He's fresh from a tie for 5th place at the Travelers Championship. We're going to zero in on why this Ryder Cup star particularly shined off the tee last week at TPC River Highlands, and the one tip that could be a game changer for you. Also, though, we're going to keep our check-ins going strong at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, where one of the guests is the swing instructor to not one, but 2 of our winners last weekend, Jordan Spieth and the new world #1 in the women's game, So-Yeon Yu. So Cameron McCormick is going to join us live to talk about the winning formula that clearly is working when it comes to his victorious students. Busy day in Studio AP and a busy week at Olympia Fields Country Club. Final days of practice. Time to study, as Paige McKenzie said, before the second major of the year on the LPGA Tour. It's KPMG Women's PGA Championship Week here on Morning Drive.